Hi lovelies and welcome to the Witch's Cookery. Today I want to show you powerful magical shit. Or in other words, I will be revealing my personal tools that I use in my spiritual or witchcraft practice to make life worth living, to have the most effect on my day-to-day manifestations, making my dreams a reality, living more authentically, tackling big projects with a little bit of magic. And speaking of manifestation, big projects and a little bit of magic, there is a big surprise for you in this video. If you feel like the universe kind of owes you a favor, should shoot you a little positive something, this might be your chance, because I'm doing a really cool giveaway. And no, I'm not naked. I just spilled coffee all over my white shirt. So I'm in a bra! With this video, I hope to give you some inspiration for your own practice, to try new stuff, or maybe even give something a second chance. And don't forget to also leave your favorite and most powerful ways to work magic down in the comments, because I like to be inspired too. But first, let's get some questions out of the way that you might now have. Does this mean it will work equally powerful for you? Well, maybe. If you can relate to some of those tools, if you find, yes, this is something that I want to try or that I can see myself doing, then yes, they definitely have the potential to change your life to the better. However, as with everything in life, people are individuals. Everyone is different. So my approaches might not be the right fit for you. Find what feels most powerful to you. Do you need to be super advanced in your witchcraft practice or really far down your spiritual path and journey in order to use those tools? No, not necessarily. Practice makes perfect, and a good way to start is where you stand. And even more exciting, if you're just starting out on your witchcraft journey or your spiritual path, there is so much ahead that you can discover, learning opportunities, and you will only encounter them if you're actually walking that path. We cannot learn everything from books. Yes, books can give great inspiration, but without doing the actual doings, you never get practical experience. Plus, very importantly, you never give yourself the chance to fail. And failure is the one most transformative, magical thing in life. If you make mistakes, you have the chance to grow and to learn from them. If you never make mistakes, this learning and growth opportunity is just not there. So dare to jump right into it, and you will accumulate knowledge and new skills and new perspectives on it along the way. Trial and error, baby. And in my honest opinion, everything that gets titled advanced usually just means that it's more complicated or multi-layered, or it's somehow tied to a more complex dogma, teaching, or philosophy. Does that mean it's more effective or more powerful? No, it does not. It just means that it's more complicated. And here we get to the next thing. What works the most powerful? Not necessarily the complicated stuff, but the stuff that you can relate to, the stuff that is accessible to you, that you can do on a regular, semi-regular level in order to actually reap the rewards. Some of the magical tools that I will be introducing here live from just that. Repeating them often, practicing them on a regular level in order to really master them. And some other techniques, especially the last one, are more powerful, in my personal opinion, if they are done sparingly and only on certain occasions to give them a bit more gravitas. Question number 2, are these practices dangerous? Well, they are definitely powerful. The danger lies in the intent of the person using them, right? If you want to use it for something beautiful and wholesome, personal growth, happiness, health, whatever that might be, no, there is no danger in it. There is only benefit to be reaped from it. If you're using it with bad intention, well, then yes, they can be dangerous for whoever is in the focus of your bad intentions. But the techniques themselves are already quite wholesome, and I consider them invaluable tools for people that want to realize and then also achieve their dreams, and have more power over how their life pans out. But now, before I make you too curious, let's just dive right in. As with all my witchcraft practice, the introduced tools do combine psychology, science with a bit of magical glitter. Technique number 1, shadow work. If you're unsure what this ominous term means, I actually made an entire video in the past on this that explains it in detail, gives you ideas for different techniques, explains the benefits, the possible dangers, and I will link it for you up here and down below. But let me give you a quick summary. Shadow work is in its root a transformative psychological practice that, especially in spirituality and witchcraft circles, is also very much used, because a lot of the people there are striving for personal empowerment, personal enlightenment, for growth and reflection, and that is where it's invaluable. It basically focuses on exploring subconscious parts of your personality, of your psyche, the shadows. What is a shadow and how is it formed? A shadow is basically a suppressed part of your personality. It forms, for example, in childhood. Let's say you're a very boisterous, loud, energetic child and your parents just cannot really cope with that. So they're constantly like, don't be so loud all the time, don't be so this, don't be so much. As a child, you depend on them for food and shelter. So you learn to suppress those parts of yourself and become more subdued in order to stay safe and stay liked. And as you grow up, you still suppress those things because you learn that they are undesirable. They become a shadow. Then when you grow up and later in life, you see someone that's very outspoken and bubbly and has that loud personality. You might just be triggered by them. You might just have that feeling of like, ugh, like that person. For no particular reason, it's just this like, ugh, that person. And this is where the shadow comes into play. You now have learned to hate a part of your personality that, if it plays out in other people, triggers you. And what shadow work does is, first of all, make you aware of these shadows, and then helps you also incorporate them into your personality as well and heal parts of yourself. And that's not only true for shadows, it might also speak through fears, through judgment of others, through limiting beliefs, and all of this can be uprooted and brought to the light with a bit of shadow work. First of all, how do you do shadow work? Well, you could spot situations that trigger you, and then you just go ahead and you work with that. You reflect on it, either in writing or in your mind or in therapy or in speaking to other people, whatever floats your boat. You work through it. Another way to do this is through journal prompts. If there are no situations right now that really trigger you, you can just Google, for example, shadow work prompts and work through them bit by bit. If you have taken my workshops or my online courses, you have come across many of the questions, and I always love when you tell me how much that actually furthers your growth, because again, fucking powerful to know yourself. Become aware of where your reactions and interactions with other people come from, where you're maybe even standing in your own way with your feelings. It really opens windows and doors to a broader world. It makes your mind open to new possibilities, to new points of view, self-compassion and compassion towards others. And it's this incredible power of overcoming one of your primal instincts or parts of your primal brain. I should say journaling and reflecting in general, additionally to shadow work, can really do wonders. If you look into our evolutionary based behavior, if we spot something that is different, that it looks different, that acts different, that has a different life or belief system than us, we usually see it either with fear or with judgment or with both, because that has kept the species alive, to be suspicious of things we don't know yet. But that also robs us of a lot of opportunities, a lot of love that can be shared, a lot of empathy, understanding, and social intelligence, emotional intelligence. Shadow work can help you step past these primal urges and become more of a, I really don't like that word, but enlightened self. I should probably do some shadow work on why I don't like that word. It really changes your outlook on life. It opens you up to new possibilities, new ways of thinking, doing, believing, makes you less hateful, less afraid, less jealous, much more rooted and relaxed in your authentic self, which again also helps with setting boundaries, unapologetically going for your dreams and desires, communicating clearly. And this leads us to powerful activity number 2, scripting for manifestation. And I have so many examples on the powers of this in my own life. Scripting is basically a journaling technique, right? Where you write down your dreams and desires. It can be in the form of like a diary post 5 years in the future, or just like some random scribbles of your thoughts and wishes at the moment. There are many other ways to manifest. For example, the 3-6-9 method, the pillow method, law of attraction, law of assumption, vision boarding. If you want to learn more about that, you can also check out my workshop Season of the Witch, where we match the magical with the mundane to make shit happen. And cue me again, your magical fairy godmother. Let me tell you about that giveaway that I was mentioning before. I'm actually giving away a space in my Season of the Witch Master Manifestation course that runs over the entire month of October. It includes a full month of daily prompts that help you work on your dreams and desires and the life that you really want to create, and 5 online group coaching sessions in a very intimate group of people where we support each other, where I help you work through your personal topics, and I'm giving away 1 spot for that. So if you wanna grab that spot for you, hop over on my Instagram. There you will find a post that says giveaway. Like that post, tag 2 people, friends or other people on the internet, and wish them something amazing for their future, and then go ahead and sign up to my newsletter that's also linked down below here and in the bio over on Instagram or on my website, because the winner will be announced there at the end of this month. Good luck! But back to my experience with that and why it's so powerful. Only the other day, I found a sheet of paper again where I had scribbled the date, which was a week after I met my now husband. And I have written down the names of our children. I know, super psycho, but hear me out. These names are now the names of my children that are now in existence as full-fledged, snotty, sometimes sticky little human beings. It does work. As a teenager, I would write down all those ideas of dinner party menus and urban-fused fantasy dishes for like this huge group of people. And guess what? Where I'm cooking them now at my retreats with all those cool like-minded people. I wrote down that I want to be creative, maybe be a journalist or work with cameras. When I finished high school, I even applied to a school in Munich, sent in all my papers, but then I couldn't go because I didn't have the money to rent a camera to shoot my video to be accepted in. But then look at me now, like the dream might have changed and arranged a little bit, but now I'm here with my own camera talking to you through my videos. Hello, being creative and doing the things that I've always written about. I have notebooks filled with description of that witchy, cozy house that people would come to and feel like bewitched, cozy and just welcome. And I'm creating just this. First of all in my own home, and then also in the witchy sanctuary I'm creating right here. And scripting is not necessarily to be seen as I'm writing down my goals and then I'm mapping out a plan on how to get there, even though you could also go that approach. But it's more like I'm allowing myself to dream freely. I'm not putting limitations on myself. I'm not thinking like, oh, but I don't have the money, or oh, I don't have the resources or the support or the skills or the expertise. But I just let myself dream big, really big, and I write it down. I definitely feel that you cannot live your best possible fulfilled life if you don't know exactly where you're going. And you don't even have to exactly know it, because dreams will adjust, and depending on where you are in life, what you have seen and experienced, they will mold around that and adjust to new situations and people in it. But at least in my examples, the red thread of my heart wishes was always there. They were always there, and it became a reality, and I'm already very excited for what is to come. So give scripting a try and don't be too impatient. It really subconsciously helps you make make the intuitive right decision and choices in your daily life in order to achieve those dreams or get closer to making them a reality. Speaking about intuition, sometimes our intuition can be a bit tricky. So I personally trust my intuition or my gut feeling, how some might call it, or my sixth sense, my spidey sense, whatever, 1000%. Because every time I listen to it, even though maybe my heart and my brain said something different, great things happened. Sometimes it's a scary thing to go only with your intuition and against every logic. But for me, it has panned out so far, so I'm sticking with it. Thank you very much. But you sometimes might find yourself in a situation where your intuition is just kind of like, it feels blocked. It doesn't want to speak to you. For example, you want to switch careers and you're presented with two options, very different options. You did your pro and con list and you already thought it through, but you still don't know which of the two to choose. What can you do? Well, you take a pendulum, a wonderful, powerful little tool. You take it in your hand and you do a little pendulum question on which of the two options you should take. Now, some people believe that spirit moves the pendulum, or I don't actually know. Some people see that more occult than I do. I'm more skeptic and scientific, but I know how a pendulum works, because a pendulum directly is controlled by your brain, by what your body truly wants it to move like, right? And then your brain creates those micro movements for your muscles, and a pendulum will swing a certain way, the way your true inner self wants it to swing. And there you have your answer, without all the headache. Fantastic. Now, of course, sometimes you might be in situations where our primal self and our higher self are battling stuff out. For example, let's say I'm on a diet that is really restrictive and I really want to eat a piece of chocolate. So I'm like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Will I regret? Will I not? Whatever. I take my little pendulum, I ask it, should I eat it or should I just wait? And then, for example, the answer is eat it. So your primal self, kind of like the urges won over what you know. Your higher self knows tomorrow you will regret this because it's a setback. However, that also gives you a great insight in this situation, for example, that your approach might be too restrictive for yourself and you might need to find a way to work that little piece of chocolate into your calorie count for the day or whatever it might be, right? Powerful witch tool number 4, and I know that you already knew that this was coming, but of course it is meditation. And now before you say, no, but I cannot meditate, I tried it, I never can concentrate. There are 1001 ways to meditate. You can meditate on a topic, you can meditate with a visual aid, with physical sensations, with a question in mind, with a guided visualization, guided meditation, a walking meditation. There are really plenty of ways. You just need to find one that kind of like vibes with your neurological makeup and one that really brings you the desired effect. Personally, what I find most powerful is the control meditation. Can give you the self-control, because we often might find ourselves faced with situations in life that really throw us off. For example, if something really horrible happens, I immediately think about post from the tax office arriving. Oh my god, the physical dread I feel, the anxiety. That would be a great one, right? Because like I can now see that letter and then ignore it, or I can just like start to cry, or I don't know, like neck a bottle of wine. All won't help me. I'm in a state of panic, right? What can I do? I can do a little meditation, and for that I personally, and I practice this every day, do breath meditations. A meditation where I simply focus on the breath going in and out of my body. Really slow, really deep. What does that do? First of all, it kicks your parasympathetic nervous system into action. It makes you calm. It gets you out of the state of panic. And it also works for anger, for example, if you're having an argument with someone. It also works for fear, if you're nervous because of a test situation, if you're feeling overwhelmed because life just seems too much at the moment. You breathe in and out and let that do its magic. And then you can actually react to the situation from a place of calm collectedness, from your head and not so much from the instinctual, oh, I should be doing that now. Super mega fucking powerful. Works great also in situations of conflict with someone, because if you are the one that can stay calm and collected, you already won, babe. And additionally, meditation also furthers mindfulness. And mindfulness, as we all know, is the ticket to less stressy depressy and also more happiness in life. Powerful witch tool number 5, designing personal ritual. Now, as a witch, I do spells, spell crafting, little things, and then sometimes I do rituals, which are the bigger things, at least in my practice. What do I use spell for? What do I use spells for? So usually spells are something that for me accompany a process, right? So let's say I wanna focus more on relaxation, call more calm energy into my life. So since I'm a kitchen witch, I might assemble a lovely little calming tea, lemon balm, lavender, some spices in there. And then I would drink this tea blend maybe every morning while saying an affirmation of I'm calm, I'm collected, whatever it might be. So this type of like little kitchen witch spell work accompanies me through the motions, through while I'm going through that process. For me, a ritual is much more of a cataclysm. Is it now? Cataclysm. English. It is. Sometimes I just say random words in English and hope for the best. Did finish high school with a 4, which is a F in English. You see what can happen if you just believe in your dreams and do that scripting? You can manifest a job where you talk every fucking day in English to people who are native in that language. Anyways, back to the topic. Rituals for me are something that sets something in motion. A process that really kickstarts something or that ends something. It might be like parting with someone or a certain energy. It might be beginning something new and wanting to step into that. Like when I do a ritual, I really plan it. I sit down and I plan. I put my intention in it. What do I want to achieve? What energy, feeling, motion do I want to call in with it? And then I think about what symbolism would work for that. For example, if I want to let go of something heavy, I might want to work with heavy stones found in nature, because I like to do my rituals in nature. Other people might want to do their rituals differently and go for the traditional salt circle and black candles. Whatever floats your boat, you do you, boo. Or I might think about working with plant spirit as a more elaborate method, like plants that I burn, and I think about what's the story behind them, the magical correspondences based on the folklore, on the magic healing abilities of that plant, and so on. And then I take the time to plan and to do and live through the entire experience mindfully. And that for me is already a big step. It's already a big investment in time and energy, in mental creativity too. So if I invest that, it feels very meaningful. It feels like it has to move something. And for me, that is already the first step into the right direction. So that's why I said it's a cataclysm. It's something that starts something up. And when you do your own ritual, you can really be creatively free. It's also not forbidden to scour internets or books for inspiration and then make it your own. There is no right or wrong way to go about things. You just do what you feel in your heart is right without fear, and then make something that feels meaningful to you. And for me, this really helps a lot in basically everything I sail through in life, because rituals can be designed for any purpose, for hard times, times of transition, times of change, for new projects in every part of your life. They are lovely. And actually, you know where we're sitting right now? In this wonderful room that is completely empty, and I still need to do so much decoration. But this is in my new witchy sanctuary that I'm right now building in the north of Bavaria. And this is where people will hopefully come to design their specific rituals with me or have it designed by me and performed and do spell work and counseling, coaching. And I can't wait to fill these walls with the magic of many positive stories. Once German bureaucracy allows me to do so. But for now, I really hope you enjoyed this little input. I would love to hear your most magical abilities as a witch or tools as a spiritual practitioner. And I wish you a wonderful day. Bye!